So I've been dealing with this ankle and feet problems since I started training for a marathon. This was 2 years ago. And ever since then, despite learning about VO2 max and learning about marathon training and proper marathon training, I've constantly been getting injured over and over due to my flat feet. So with the repeated requirement of like landing on your toes every time you hit a stride, my feet gets easily injured as soon as I turn up the training intensity. And this has been plaguing my training for a year and a half now. And besides training for marathons, I also do training for Jiu Jitsu. And often that adds to the limitations of my training because in jiu-jitsu you do have to do some takedowns and some wrestling techniques that require a lot of load on your toes and like blasting in for takedowns and such. So I get additional injuries there. And because I train in medium impact sport, it limits a lot of my ability to heal these injuries once they come up. So often it takes me out for about two weeks to about a month. And that really hinders your training progression. So until recently, I picked up tennis and I'm completely in love with it, just like how I started in jiu-jitsu, where I just love jiu-jitsu and I want to train all the time. My flat feet becomes more of an issue due to the dynamic requirements in jiu-jitsu, at least with running. It's more like one direction. You're just moving forward. And sometimes if you're running in the street, you have to dodge obstacle and such. But in general, you're fine with just moving forward. But in tennis, you have to move much more dynamically and you're moving at much higher speed than if you're training for just um, endurance and marathon running that I've been doing. And same with jiu-jitsu. Most of the time, I'm not even taking that many like takedowns and shots. It's more like being on your back or like being on top and passing someone's guard. You're barely on your feet that much. So that leads me to today. I've been, I put together a training regimen for my feet. I will link the source below. I find that his instructions are very clear and very doable, and it doesn't take up that much time. And I can do it whenever I'm like working or in my office. It's just a few motions that will benefit me a lot in the long run. I do use additional soles to support my lack of arch when I exercise. I have it in my running shoes and I have it in the sneakers that I wear on a daily basis. I have tried also wearing barefoot shoes to try to improve the muscle of like in a more natural way, but since I've been wearing it for 6 months now, and there hasn't been much improvement. And as I'm getting older, like my recovery rate is slows down a little bit. Um, so I want to strengthen the feet to actually improve this condition. So the first exercise is the foot flexion. Basically, trying to curl the foot. The second exercise is the simple towel crunches. I don't have a huge towel here, so I'm just gonna use this one. Skipping one exercise in the middle, I will use this exercise here. And the last one in the daily routine So that's gonna be the routine that I'm gonna use to try to fix my flat feet and add more muscular support to my feet. Um, I'm still doing a little bit of exercise right now. Uh, I'll try to do it twice a day, every day for the next week, and see if that improve um, my feet's ability to support itself in a more natural way. I'll still use insoles whenever I train. Uh, I have been more careful with using the right shoes for different sports. Um, since I started playing tennis, I was using running shoes, and it did give me some problems. But recently, I ordered a pair of tennis specific shoes, and hopefully that will provide more support. I do wear some ankle bracelets just in case. When I'm playing recently, I've just been wearing, instead of wearing running shoes, I've been wearing basketball shoes because in my mind, I thought like basketball is rather quite a dynamic sport, but apparently it's not as dynamic. I don't know how much I trust this to a certain degree. I do trust that tennis shoes specifically have a better support for the more lateral movements. But yeah, besides that, I'll continue to work on these various exercises and see how they will help me improve my flat feet condition and prevent more injuries moving forward.